It seems that I'm the only one who can open the secret door in the manor, and I can't help feeling slightly guilty selling you the place under these circumstances.
This is the story of Where Spirits Have Lease, a haunting tale of ancestral evil taking root in the sleepy seaside city of Anvil. And, thanks to cut content, whether we kill or spare an amoral merchant. To begin this quest, we head down to Anvil's docks for an evening stroll, beckoned by the inviting atmosphere of the nearby Flowing Bowl Inn. Once inside, we overhear two patrons discussing a man named Velwyn and his rumoured estate, Benirus Manor.
I heard that Velwyn Benirus is trying to sell off Benirus Manor. Hopefully the new owners will clean that eyesore up.
They disappear into the swamps and are never seen
Goodbye.
again.
Good evening.
Indeed, when seeking out the sizable estate on the edge of Anvil, we see it as an estate of disrepair, and the rumour as to how it fell into its current state become much darker.
I swear that when I passed by Benirus Manor last night, I heard someone scream from inside. Velwyn Benirus will never sell that death trap.
Still, oddly intrigued, we interrupt the nearby Breton pirate Timothy LaRouche,
What?
asking, "Sorry, I couldn't help it over here. Velwyn Benirus is trying to sell his house, you said? Do you know where I can find him, perchance?"
That layabout? You can find him wasting time at the Count's Arms.
Wow. Such judgment from a fellow also standing inside an inn enjoying libations.
Hi.
Hi there.
Exiting the tavern and taking in the sea breeze, we determined to begin the quest, Where Spirits Have Lease, and our journal updates. I've overheard a rumour that Velwyn Benirus wants to sell a manor here in Anvil, and that he's selling it cheap. I should go find him and see what he has to offer. Seeking out the hopefully motivated seller in search of a bargain, we soon come to find more than we had bargained. For as we happen upon the Count's Arm Inn, the upper-class drinking establishment of Anvil, located in the west part of the city. Inside, we cross the large entry to speak to proprietor Wilbur behind the bar, who greets.
Hail. I'm Wilbur, owner and proprietor of the Count's Arms. We make beds and food available to guests. Can I help you?
I hope you can help. I'm looking for a man selling that eerie-looking estate by the pond down yonder. Folks say he's staying here.
A local gentleman has been looking to sell his manor. A bit run down, but a magnificent place, and priced to move. The manor belongs to Velwyn Benirus. He's the one to speak to.
I see. Houses in Anvil are quite unique, aren't they?
Buildings here look different. Why? This is the Gold Coast style, like in Hammerfell. Eastern towns look gray and dull to me.
Understandable. Anything else that's caught your eye?
I've heard Carahill is a powerful illusionist. No wonder she's the ranking mage here in Anvil.
Carahill in the Mages Guild. I shall remember that name, thank you.
Farewell.
Turning to leave, we're intercepted by the rapacious realtor, Velwyn himself.
Hello, good sir. Hello, I am Velwyn Benirus. If you're in the market, I'm selling a manor house right now for a very good price.
You're in luck. I was looking to learn a bit more about the manor. Say, why are you selling? I've heard some terrible rumors, to be honest.
Yes, I'm selling my grandfather's house, Benirus Manor. If you're interested, I could let you have it for a modest sum. I have to sell it soon, as I have pressing matters elsewhere. You're welcome to take a look at it. It is located across the street from the chapel. Once you buy, you get the key to the front door and the deed of ownership. That's the deal. Would you like to buy it now?
Sensing his sweaty urgency, we can respond. Not right now.
Well, I'll be here every day from noon until midnight. Let me know if you change your mind.
A quest would then update. I've met Velwyn Benirus. He has a manor for sale here in Anvil. I should question him further to see how much he wants for it. Thinking it best we at least hear him out on price, and perhaps we can happen upon a bargain. We reapproach Velwyn, who confirms.
That manor is still for sale if you're interested.
Well, first let's talk price, eh?
If you want to buy Benirus Manor, it's still available for a modest price. No questions asked, please. Interested?
5,000 gold? For that palace? Disturbing rumors be damned, count me in. Anvil's not getting any cheaper with all the Bretons buying up all the land.
Excellent. Here's the key to the front door and the deed of ownership. I hope you enjoy your new home. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must attend to those pressing matters I spoke of earlier. Good day.
We're then handed the keys to the manor and the deed as Velwyn hurriedly exits the tavern. Confused and worried, we catch up to him outside as he saunters off and he braces.
You got quite a deal on that house.
Yes, okay, thank you, but I have questions if you don't mind me.
You've already bought the manor, and I have nothing more to say about it. Congratulations on your buy.
Benirus then disappears into the night, and we, holding the key to our new home, intuit that this may not have been the best deal, thanks to our own desperation to get into the property ladder, a tad too late as our quest updates. I've purchased the manor from Velwyn. He gave me a key and the deed of ownership. I can now move in there anytime. Arriving out front in the gloom of night, we mentally evaluate the septums needed to be spent on the rundown exterior, overgrown with strangling vines, the shutters barely hanging on for dear life, and stonework eroded by the harsh sea air. Surprised the large double doors still work, they open with a groan, and we're gifted with an easily missed unique loading screen that reads, Lorgren Benirus, who mysteriously disappeared over 100 years ago, was the original owner of Benirus Manor. The more you know. Stepping inside, our quest then immediately updates. I've arrived at my new house in Anvil, Benirus Manor. Looks like the place may need some work, but it was a great deal I just couldn't pass up. I can now make myself at home. Looking around the disheveled sitting room, we nearly trip over an oddly placed table and look up to see the room's contents are in various states of disarray. Oddly, to our left, a single candle is lit next to an urn, probably holding old Lorgren's ashes. To our right, we then enter a dining room showcasing a stylish chandelier that is smashed into the table yet somehow remains lit. Great job, Benirus, on the welcome. No wonder he jogged off. To our left is another foyer of sorts, this time with candles appropriately placed and nothing amiss. To our right is a small door to the basement, and next to it a winding staircase that leads to the master bedroom, which, again, was surprised to see the bed is made and everything intact, bar the many smashed windows that no doubt the local youths are responsible for. Through the next door is a sitting area that overlooks the great fireplace below, and the door to our right opens to reveal a study, also well lit and open to overlook the stairs. Although the architectural choices are questionable, the house does seem to open up and take advantage of the roaring fireplace, and across the small hall, a door leading to the second-story balcony where, if we listen really close, we can hear the deranged prophet below screaming his tits off.
Hear me, O people of Cyrodiil! The blood of the Bella's slaughtered acolytes cries out for vengeance! Vengeance! Who will take up this holy crusade?
The full Knights of the Nine series will be linked at the end of this video.
Will no one walk the ancient pilgrim's way?
Back inside our new abode, we remember the final door left to explore, descending the stairs to the basement. Inside we find the basement itself is sprawling, as if to house more than just wine, and soon find at the end of the winding tunnel something unexpected and wholly unwelcome. In the gloom peering back at us are multiple foreign symbols adorned with stars making up strange glyphs on the wall. Upon approaching, we see there's a sealed portal. Not entirely fond of this discovery, we exit the room and wonder if the screams the citizens of Anvil had heard were made by whatever was down here. Perhaps a ritual gone wrong, or hopefully just youths taking advantage of an abandoned building. Whatever the case, the hour grows late, and the cock is soon to crow. When I say cock, I mean the prophet howling his inane jabberings by the bedroom window. And so we return to the boudoir, discarding our cumbersome weapons and armor in search of restorative sleep. As soon as our head hits the pillow, we're awakened by a chilling presence. Lighting our torch, we see a trio of malignant spirits grasping at our steel sword from the windowsill. It swaths straight through the first spectral foe, and we leap across the room to the dresser, reclaiming our bow. Our only hope of survival, the silver arrows in our quiver as we dispatch the vile visitants. Our quest log then updates. Benirus Manor is haunted. I was awakened by ghosts that attacked me as I slept. As I awoke, I thought I heard a crash from downstairs. I should search the house and investigate. Racing down the stairs sans armor, we see in the sitting room a source of worry. The urn we joked was a receptacle for Lorgren's ashes was holding something far worse. The remains of a human hand, bathed in an eerie green glow, outstretched as if probing for something it never found, and a scrap from none other than Lorgren's diary in which he shares. 2 Suns Dawn, 3E335. The people of Anvil are worms. How dare they criticize what they don't understand? I shall have my vengeance in a form they cannot possibly imagine. I shall use the souls of the departed to prolong my own life. The tome is very specific. I must have more bodies. Yes, more bodies. 11 Suns Dawn, 3E335. I must protect myself from those meddlers. They shall not interfere in my designs. I have constructed a room in the basement of this manor. It is there I will inter my corporeal self, and I will transcend this plane of existence. Only a true-blooded Benirus may open the portal, so if I fail, however unlikely that may be, a descendant may attempt to follow in my footsteps to carry on the true way. To make sure our secret is safe, I have harnessed the spirits of those whose bodies I have defiled to forever guard this place. 15 Suns Dawn, 3E335. The fools think I don't hear them speaking. I can hear their rumor and innuendo. They intend to meddle in powers they can barely comprehend. They call me an old fool and shun me. The young dare each other to step 1 foot in my yard. I've become the stuff of old wives' tales and campfire stories. They dismiss me as an oddity, but soon they will see. When all of Anvil lies in waste around me, when their corpses litter the streets and their blood dampens the earth, only then will my true power be known and feared. After reading said note, we quickly discern there is only one man who can help us, and hastily scrawl in our journal. I found a skeletal hand next to a page from a diary. The diary makes mention of a secret room in the house that only a true-blooded Benirus can open. I'm going to need to talk to Velwyn about this. I may have to ask around town to find out where he's gone. Shocked at this bloodthirsty revelation, before we can process what has happened, we turn to leave the disturbed death trap, and as we move to recover our armor upstairs, are swarmed by the undead that pour forth in an unholy cacophony. Overwhelmed, we have no way back down, to fall hard to the ground below. Yeah! Outside in the night air that cuts through our meager cloth pants, we silently curse Benirus, turning to a nearby guard who questions.
Welcome to Anvil. If you need a guard, just look around. That's why things are so peaceful here. Just look around. And there's a town guard. Prevents all sorts of misunderstandings.
Speaking of disturbing the peace, have you seen Velwyn Benirus? We're about to come to an understanding.
I'm not sure where he went, but I would ask at the Count's Arms. If anyone knows where he is, it would be someone there. You too.
Enraged at the disappearing Imperial's duplicity, we make a brisk beeline for the promised warmth of the open fire inside the Count's arms. Behind the bar, the innkeeper Wilbur, puzzled at our lack of attire, questions,
What?
"Where has that snake Benirus slithered off to?"
As soon as you bought the place, he pretty much up and left. I hear tell he's making his way to the Imperial City. You too.
Our journal then updates. I've discovered that Velwyn has left town and made his way to the Imperial City. If I'm to find out why Benirus Manor is haunted, I need to find him there. Exiting the tavern in search of supplies before our trip. We then remember rumours the Mages Guild is supposedly sworn to stamp out necromancy under their new leader, Traven or Draven, and make our way to their headquarters in hopes of guidance. Inside, we see the High Elf Carahill behind the front desk, which Wilbur had referred to as a powerful illusionist previously. Upon seeing us, she looks up from her book to greet.
Hello there. Is there something with which I can assist you? Perhaps you're curious about joining the Mages Guild.
I was actually looking to learn more about necromancy, of all things.
Necromancy may be legal in Cyrodiil, but few will openly admit to practicing it now that the Mages Guild has banned it.
Understandable. I was more wondering if I could find evidence of the dark arts here in Anvil, if you could assist me.
The Anvil Mages Guild is proud to follow the example Hannibal Traven sets for us. Mastery and scholarship, free of the dark arts.
They say.
Well, that answers the question. The mages don't even want to broach the topic with an outsider. Crossing the street, we locate the local smithy, who introduces.
A pleasure to speak with you. What can I interest you in?
Remembering the cruel jab of impotent realization when swinging our steel sword through the spectral threat, we purchase a silver short sword for its promise to rend asunder the fiends.
Thank you for your patronage.
And also in our haste, a stylish apron to cover our torso for the journey ahead. We then embark on a long trip to the Imperial City on the heels of the blustering Benirus. Arriving in the Elven Gardens district under the auspices of the White Gold Tower, we turn to a local guard who asks,
"What?"
"Hello there. Don't mind the apron. I'm looking for a lad named Velwyn Benirus. He's about 5'10", Imperial, maybe part rat, to be determined. Seen him?"
"Yes, he just arrived in town recently. I believe he's staying at the King and Queen Tavern. Be seeing you."
Nothing too fancy when it's paid for by our septums, hey? With a note. I've been told that Velwyn stays in the King and Queen Tavern here in the Imperial City. I should go there to find him.
So what's this about?
Inside, a surprised Velwyn states,
I'm surprised to see you all the way out here in the Imperial City.
"Drop the smug mug, laughing boy. You knew damn well that house was haunted."
So, you think I'm responsible? I suppose you're right, as the manor used to belong to my grandfather, Lorgren Benirus. I knew there was a curse on that place, which is why I sold it to you so cheap. I suppose I should have warned you, but I had to get out of Anvil. My family said I could move here to the Imperial City once all our loose ends were tied down. The manor was one of those loose ends. I fear my own greed got the better of my judgment. I hope you weren't hurt badly in that horrible place. I suppose I assumed you'd be able to lift the curse and be done with it.
Not as badly as you'll be hurt unless you help me with unwanted guests in that manor. Here's a note from your great-grandpappy, Lorgren Benirus.
Lorgren Benirus was a strange old man, always dabbling and experimenting with magic. He was mostly harmless, until the fateful day he came across a tome bearing the evil magic of necromancy. He became obsessed and decided that by using necromancy, he could prolong his own life. The dark arts contained in the tome called for him to dig up the recently deceased in the nearby crypts under the cathedral. When it was discovered that he did this, The Mages Guild called for a quick meeting to decide what to do. It only took minutes to decide. Led by a young upstart named Carahill, the Mages Guild stormed Benirus Manor and slew Lorgren. However, amid the chaos, his body vanished. Because of this, the people of Anvil concluded the manor must be cursed. You are the first person to set foot inside in a long time.
Not according to folks who heard the screams. Now you are going to aid me right now in lifting that curse. And don't act like it's your idea either.
According to the diary entry, it seems that I'm the only one who can open the secret door in the manor. And I can't help feeling slightly guilty selling you the place under these circumstances. I'll meet you in Anvil at the Count's Arms. From there, we'll try to lift the curse together. I'll see you in Anvil.
Velwyn then saunters off once more, and our quest updates. After questioning Velwyn, I've learned that his grandfather dabbled in necromancy and was killed when the townspeople of Anvil found out. Strangely, the body was never recovered. Since then, the house has been cursed. Velwyn agreed to meet me back in Anvil at the Count's Arms. I should return there as soon as possible, after our long journey back to Anvil. Inside the Count's Arms, a visibly skittish Benirus bolsters.
I'm ready as I'll ever be. I was half expecting you not to show up. Are you ready to go to the manor?
We can then respond. Yes, I'm ready if you are.
Then let's get this over with. I don't relish the thought of spending too long inside of the manor. Follow me.
Well met, you.
Following the Imperial across Anvil's cold cobblestone, we note in our journal, I've met Velwyn at the Count's Arms Tavern. He's agreed to escort me to the house and open the secret room. Making our way to the manor, we see a figure still as the night itself in the distance. Approaching, Velwyn snaps out of his fear-induced paralysis as if the manor itself had a hold on him, asking,
Did you want to continue to the manor?
Yes, let's continue.
Good. I want to get this over with as soon as possible.
You and me both. Waiting at the front door once more, the Daedric sword-wielding guide miraculously snaps into action and barrels through the door without discussing its strategy for entry. Drawing his sword and haphazardly bolting into the dining room, he battles the incensed spirits.
Die, damn you!
To his credit, Velwyn's pretty decent in a fight and charges up to the bedroom, where we take a much-needed moment to scoop up our previously discarded iron armor.
You pathetic worm! Warming up, you pathetic worm!
With the top floor cleared, Velwyn heads back to the entrance, and our journal updates. Velwyn and I have arrived in Benirus Manor, and must proceed cautiously to the secret room's entrance, and prevent any harm from befalling us if the curse is to ever be lifted from this place. Velwyn then breathlessly turns to us requesting,
Okay, you lead from here. Hopefully we can make it to the basement without too much fighting.
Inside the basement, Velwyn charges ahead once more, and we do our best with our bow to fend off his attackers, no doubt attracted to the Benirus bloodline in retribution for what his ancestor had wrought on the poor souls.
Let's get this.
Down the winding hall, we contend with the final spirit loosed upon the manor. Benirus then says,
Lead on.
Before we go ahead, how will we lift this curse, do you think? These spirits are relentless.
I hope that whatever's behind the door will truly lift the curse. I'd hate to risk harm for nothing.
Oh yes, I'm sure you'd hate to risk harm like when you happily abandoned me after selling us the manor.
I'll be glad to get this over with and get back to the Imperial City. Did you hear a noise?
Interestingly, here is presumably where the quest would originally diverge with a dark, unseen ending of its own, as we could murder Benirus for his betrayal, which we'll soon explore. However, first, if we chose to spare Velwyn and complete the quest as intended, he waltzes up to the nearby portal, and we're prompted. Velwyn and I have arrived at the secret door. Velwyn then takes a lengthy look at how to unseal the door.
As soon as this opens, I'm leaving.
Why he takes so long, again, we will explore in a bit. For now, when successfully open, our quest updates. Velwyn successfully opened the door to the secret room, which has stopped the ghosts from attacking. He then ran off, leaving me to clean up the mess. It's up to me, and me alone, to investigate what's beyond the mysterious portal. Velwyn, true to his word, begins a dead sprint to the exit, and only when we catch up to him he'll share.
I'm pleased we were able to get that secret door open, but I fear I can no longer assist you here. I'll wait for you at the Count's Arms.
Back at the portal, the stone doorway mechanically groans open, revealing a hidden crypt. More of the same symbol are scattered amidst the dim lighting, and skeletal remains of Lorgren's victims litter the entry, as well as crude surgical implements. On the desk to our right lays an ominous and toothy black tome of unlife. Inside, we see the symbology of Lorgren's experiment under the blood splatter and necromantic symbols. Pocketing the book, we slowly approach the candle-laced altar with the body of what must be Lorgren himself in his failed attempt at ascending the mortal coil. Curiously, we notice, he's missing his left hand, and we think back to upstairs in the vase as a disembodied voice eerily greets.
I am Lorgren Benirus, and I desire the chance to atone for my sins. The things I've done to the people of Anvil, the horrible, unspeakable acts I've committed, demand repentance. Garahil was justified. Slaying me was the only way to stop the madness. I have accepted that fate. Now, so I may make my final peace with the Nine, please rejoin my hand to my body. Only then, when I am complete, will this eternal nightmare end.
Our quest then updates. After touching the altar, I heard the voice of Lorgren Benirus. He said he wished to atone for his past and make peace with the Nines. All he wished was to be whole again. This must be the way to lift the curse from Benirus Manor. I should touch his skeleton while carrying the bony hand and put an end to this madness. Indeed, we race upstairs to find the missing appendage. Quietly amazed, it was a misgendered Garahil that led the charge against the failed necromancer. Returning to the regretful Lorgren's altar, we give him a hand, literally, so his spirit may finally have rest in here.
It never fails to amuse me how easy mortal man is to manipulate. You've assisted me in completing the very thing Garahil's cabal sought to prevent all those years ago. My ascension to immortality. Last time I clashed with mortals, I underestimated their power. I shall not repeat that mistake twice. I live again.
We're then confronted with the reborn lich Lorgren. As he summons a skeleton to his aid, we attempt to egress the tomb only to find the mechanical door closed behind us. Turning to be confronted by the lich's summoned skeleton champion, we knock its silver claymore from its hand and heft the weapon up off the floor for ourselves, carving a swath through the skeleton as Lorgren begins his own assault. Only then are we set upon by an unending deluge of undead servants to the wicked lich's cause. Wounded and desperate, we then create a gap between us and the undead, attempting to blot out the source of the summons by lobbing silver arrows at Lorgren the Lich. However, unfazed, he presses his attack, with just us standing between the necromancer and Anvil's possible ruination. We lure him back to the mechanical door as he floats towards us menacingly, cocksure of his victory, and a silver arrow strikes true, piercing his black heart with a fell scream. With the foul fiend felled, we hastily jot in our journal. Completing the skeleton was a ruse, and Lorgren rose from the dead. I had no choice but to destroy him. With his destruction, the curse of Benirus Manor was lifted. I should return to the Count's arms and speak to Velwyn. But first, we take a moment and collect Lorgren's Staff of Flame, and take a closer look at the Necromancer. Over 100 years to take this filthy form, and for what? To be left rotting once more in his tomb. At the back of the room, we then find an open stone casket with remains interred and 2 sacks, the first containing a bounty of random rings and jewels, the second containing a meagre sum of gold. Exiting the basement, we're shocked as something feels markedly different, almost pleasant. But what? We then realize as we enter the dining hall, the house is being cleaned up. Food appears on the table, and the chandelier hangs proudly once more, unbroken by a fall. Was this Velwyn's doing? How long were we down in that crypt? Or is this some kind of reprieve from an insidious curse we cannot fully fathom? Taking a final look at the now comforting Manor's bottom floor, we exit via its front door. Taking a moment to appreciate the restored facade in lieu of the rundown frontage. Entering the Count's arms a final time, Velwyn greets.
The lifter of curses returns. I'm sorry for running away like that, but fear got the best of me. I'm glad you talked me into coming with you. Now that the curse has been lifted, I feel like I've taken care of my family's unfinished business. Excellent work, my friend. May the Manor give you many years of happiness. I'm now off to the Imperial City once more. Farewell.
He saunters off for the Imperial City, after which we can then overhear the townsfolk of Anvil marvel at the restored homestead.
The new owner sure has turned Benirus Manor around. It's now a welcome addition to our city.
Before seeking out Velwyn, we pause to speak to the Mages Guild leader, Cariel, despite her objections when first spoken to of necromancy. Placing the Tome of Unlife with a thud on the counter in front of her, she greets.
Hello there. Is there something with which I can assist you? Perhaps you're curious about joining the Mages Guild.
We then tap the tome and ask, So, are you ready to discuss necromancy with an outsider, or do I have to kill another lich?
I've heard you were able to lift the curse from Benirus Manor and destroy Lorgren Benirus once and for all. I thank you for completing the task I set about to do long ago. His unholy craft will no longer threaten the citizens of Anvil. Well done. Farewell.
We then pause before leaving, looking at the large hands and height of the Ultima and wonder If Lorgren really couldn't tell Carahill's sex during the chaos of a Mages Guild kill squad barreling down on him, or perhaps a lot has happened in 100 years. Departing Anvil, we return to Velwyn's local watering hole, the King and Queen Tavern in the Imperial City.
The manor is finally cleansed. Enjoy the manor. It suits you well.
I dealt with Lorgren, you know. He was definitely not the man you remember.
May his soul finally rest in peace.
He can rot in pieces, you mean? Why do you always choose the wrong side, Velwyn? Never mind. At least the manor is clear.
I'm overjoyed to hear that you were able to cleanse the manor. Well done, my friend. Well done. Good fortune to you.
Now this is the perfect time for us to explore what was meant to happen if the cheeky Velwyn actually got his comeuppance. See, as I had previously stated, he was meant to be able to be killed during the quest, which, let's be honest, is fully deserved. I believe, personally, Velwyn's death would have transpired during his unusually long opening of the crypt door, as unused dialogue would state.
Just hold the ghosts off while I figure out how to open this damn door.
Perhaps alluding to defending Velwyn from a wave or two of ghosts. However it happened, a cut ending meant that Velwyn was meant to die, whether from spectres thanks to his ancestor, or a well-placed arrow in his back for knowingly, almost gleefully selling us a haunted house. After which, we could loot his corpse of a levelled sword, burgundy outfit, and small amount of gold, as he'd apparently spent the 5,000 septims we gave him, as well as finding the ironically placed flyer about the best defense on his person, seeing as he had 0 defenses to save him from our rightful retribution. Townsfolk in cut dialogue could be heard saying,
I heard that Velwyn Benirus was killed. The manor claims another victim.
The downside of rightfully reveling in our retribution against Velwyn is the door to Lorgren's tomb would remain closed, and presumably the manor remained tainted, waiting for more poor souls or perhaps another Benirus relative mentioned by Velwyn to clumsily happen upon their ancestor and aid in his ascension to the dire detriment of the people of the sleepy seaside city of Anvil. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with more Elder Scrolls lore, and if you want to support the channel in a more personal way, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, Traveller.